Hi everyone, it's Mari here for the Vicki Boutin design team. I have a project for you today using the beautiful Warm Wishes collection. I'm going to start off with the watercolor palette that was new with the recent releases from Vicki, and I'm going to use one of the new stencil sets. I think this one is called Christmas, and of course it is with the Warm Wishes collection as well. It has the kind of the snowflake pattern on it. I really love it. And so what I did was I grabbed one of my sponge applicators just from my stash, and I'm using that to pick up the pigment from the watercolor palette and just dab it on through the stencil. And it does create kind of like a really cool, sort of like a watercolored impression. It's not like a perfect impression of the stencil. It just kind of creates this really dreamy sort of watercolory look. I really like it. And I am just showing you here how I achieved that with that sponge applicator. So I'm just going to get it down onto my Vicki Boutin Foundations paper here. I'll move the stencil down and then I'll just repeat that same technique. So to get some water onto that palette, I just spritz the palette with water with my Distress spritzing tool. And now you can just see that I am picking, just go back and continue to pick it up with that sponge. Once I'm finished that, I'm just going to splatter that same color. It's kind of like that aqua green color from the palette. I'm going to splatter that onto my project with my snap brush. Someone had asked me recently about what type of brush this is. This is a snap brush. It's a really nice, bouncy, firm watercolor brush. They are relatively inexpensive and you can pick those up at most fine art stores. Really awesome brushes. I highly recommend them. Now this is the beautiful paper from the Warm Wishes. This is very aptly titled or named because this paper is beautiful. What I wanted to do was just use the bottom portion of it. I really like that label area because it's perfect for the placement of a title. And I love the colors in this, and I think they matched up really nicely with that watercolor pigment. Now I did decide to go back and fill in that center section. I was thinking of doing a vertical layout, but then changed it to a horizontally oriented layout. So now what I've done here is I finished up with the mixed media and I'm going to start working on my photo mats. I have cut a piece of green cardstock down to just a slightly larger than 4x3. Then I cut 2 photo mats from white cardstock to 4x3, layering those onto that green cardstock with just a little bit of foam adhesive. And there you can see I'm using some of those ornament die cuts from the Warm Wishes die cut pack and that little banner of stars up at the top, and then my little title area will go at the bottom. Now I want to attach those ornaments, so to speak, to the layout with the impression that they're hanging from some gold thread. So I'm just going to use my needle and thread here. This is some gold twine, and I'm going to just do a back stitch technique here and do that little bit of stitching through the foundations paper. I did pierce the paper first with my piercing tool, and what I did was I just drew a vertical line with my pencil and my ruler so that I got this the sewing straight, and then I just pierced a straight line. And now you can just see that I'm sewing there with a back stitch with that gold thread. And I will just go ahead and continue that same process with each one of those lines. And there you can see how this is going to look. But I did decide that I wanted to move the green ornament to the center, so I will do that. And I also sewed through the top of this torn paper, and that just creates a little bit more texture on that pattern paper as well. So now I'm going to stick this pattern paper onto the bottom section of my project. And yes, I am going to cover up that mixed media at the bottom, but when I was planning the project, like I said earlier, I was originally planning to do this as a vertical strip through the center of the layout and create the layout with that kind of base. And of course, switched it up, changed my mind. So now I'm just going to cover up some of that mixed media here, and this beautiful, literally beautiful, and it's called beautiful paper, is going to be on the bottom third of the layout. So I'm going to also add a little bit of gold twine in a bow to my little ornaments here. At this point, I still haven't decided. I'm fairly quickly going to decide that I want that green ball or ornament in the center, just because I thought it would look nice if the green's in the center and then the 2 pink ones are on either side. So you can see I've moved those now, and I've just tied a little bow with some gold twine here. And now I'm going to go ahead and add each one of those little gold twine bows with a glue dot to the top of the ornament. And I just wanted something in that area up at the top. And I just thought these were super cute. I love these ornaments. They have such a really fun vintage look to them. And I thought that was just the perfect touch for that area up in the top left-hand sort of corner area of the layout where that white space is, or the open space, I should say, because it's not white. It has mixed media behind it. So I'm going to attach these 3 little bows painstakingly with my glue dots. I should definitely have sped up this section of the video, but anyways, I'm going to just finish that up. This is a pokey tool that has been in my stash for, I don't know, probably 25 years. It was with a set that included a tool to set your eyelets. Maybe some of you had the same tool set in your stash or still have it. So it works really well for this. Now I've got that all done, and now you can see that the general placement of everything is kind of ready to go. I wanted to add that little banner of stars to the top area. So I'm going to do that now. So I'm just going to get that banner stuck down at the top with a little bit of foam adhesive just to add a little bit of dimension there as well. And now I'm just going to start to add some of the title detail at the bottom. This is the die cut word Mary, obviously, and then the little die cut holly bit that is going to go just below it. And I'm going to attach that with some foam adhesive as well to add a little bit of dimension to that area also. And just going to get that in place. I love that there's still just a little bit of room underneath the left photo for some journaling as well. And this layout is going to be gifted to a friend. This is going to be the photos that I'm going to be using here are pictures of her 2 little kids when they went to an event in Saskatoon called Glow. So that's what this is going to be documenting. Now I love the sticker book that is part of the Warm Wishes collection. There's tons of stickers in that sticker book. I'm going to use that little poinsettia sticker up in that top area there above the photos. And I also am going to use some of these die cut tabs from the die cut packs, and just going to staple those together with a couple of black staples. And those are going to embellish either side of the 2 photos. You can see I have the 2 photos in place there now, just black and white. They are nice and bright photos. Got lots of nice bright exposure to them, which I think is really nice for what this is documenting as well. Just going to grab a couple of those little phrase stickers from the phrase sticker sheet. And again, this is from the sticker book. I love these tiny sticker phrases. I hope Vicki never stops doing these. They are so awesome. And I use these on so many different projects. They are just great for mini books or card projects, or this type of project here of 12 by 12, whatever, just virtually anything where you need just a sweet little phrase. And so I have finished off these 2 labels with those phrases, and I'm going to add those with some foam adhesive to one to each of the different photos. And I'll just finish that up there. I love that they've got that little bit of striping on the bottom, and I love the craft. I love all of the craft that's in this collection. It's just really awesome. Really kind of gives that vintagey feel as well. Now I have placed some more pattern paper behind the photographs here. That is the back of that beautiful paper. Just cut that into a strip and added that behind the photos as you saw earlier there. And now I'm going to just finish that little embellishment area there up with another piece of foliage. This is another cardstock sticker from the sticker book. And it does look very similar to the foliage that's in that little poinsettia cluster that's on the pattern paper. So I just kind of wanted to do a little bit of a repetitive sort of motif up in that area there and finish that off just with those 2 little pieces. That's it. So I'm not doing a ton of layering. There's not a ton of product in that area, just a couple of little pieces. And then I'm also going to add some of the puffy stickers. Love the puffy stickers from this collection. They are absolutely adorable. And I just wanted to kind of sprinkle a few of these little bits in and around the different little clusters and photos on the layout. So I'm just kind of checking to see if there's anything else that I want to add from there. And now I'm just going to look at the chipboard. Chipboard stickers are fantastic as always. And I just really wanted to add one of these little snowflake chipboard pieces with the gold foiling on it. I love those, they're so pretty. And now I just wanted to finish off with some splatters. I'm going to use some white paint splatters here. Just going to take a fine brush from my stash and just splatter these white splatters all over the layout just to kind of bring everything together. And I love the texture and the dimension that the white paint adds. This is Stina Wakley gloss spray, and it's just a really nice addition on the layout. I've also got some of Vicki's gold glaze on my glass mat here. I've watered that down, and I'm just picking some of that up with that same, with the, is that a different brush? I think I maybe switched out the brushes. I'm just using a fine brush here to splatter the gold splatters around the layout as well. And that's going to be the last step for my project. And I really like how this turned out. The Warm Wishes collection is just stunning. You know, the stencils, the different types of mixed media that you can use, the distress look of the different papers. I just love it. I love the color palette. It is absolutely gorgeous. And I have linked up to the collection in the description box below and all of the products that I've used today for my creation. And you can check that out just in the show more section underneath the video. And I have added some journaling on there as well. Thanks so much, friends, for watching today. Have an amazing day, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.